So I'm Melinda Doden, and I am an instructor at the Mountain Ortho-Bionomy Center.
I am Sherry Covey. I'm an advanced instructor of orthobionomy. I had a vision to start a center, and that's why I'm here. I'm a part of one of the best things in my whole life.
I'm Shelley George. I'm a student of orthobionomy. I am a practitioner working on my advanced practitioner.
Tell me about the conception and visualization that you had for Rocky Mountain Ortho-Bionomy Center.
Oh, that's one of the greatest passions of my life. I loved this work from the minute I felt it in my system. And what I loved about it is that it was so encompassing and broad. And my vision for the work became that I wanted to just bring this work out into the world for more practitioners to come in and be able to practice it. So I had a vision that was really simple, is that we would just find more people who were of like mind and wanted to treat the whole body and not just symptoms, and that could come in from this place of humility and sensitivity and conversation with the body. And so that's where I came from. And that's where we started the Rocky Mountain Ortho-Bionomy School, having that kind of vision and that kind of just like bring us people to train and bring us people to bring into a community that we can hold the same kind of support the work does inside of our community.
I think things that facilitates that too is just the aspect of orthobionomy of how, and I think we very much come from that here, is how it is really about supporting the emergence of the authentic self. And when you can get to that part of you and of coming from that authentic self, then those types of relationships are really, that's what naturally occurs. And it's a really beautiful process to be on that journey with people.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a beautiful
on
dance.
whatever level you get to share it with them.
And to see you, like all of us have more self-recognition and more it's like the onion layers peel back and we just find
heal.
more of ourselves
Yeah.
and more of our beautiful selves are revealed. It's beautiful.
The nature of orthobionomy, I think, is more importantly about recognizing that inside of us there is a wholeness in how we can get in relationship to all things and hold that wholeness. And so it even though we teach you highly neurological information, structural information, visceral, we go into these very technical parts, but we hold it with the divinity that it was all created together to work in wholeness. And so that comes in with a different philosophy. We don't come in as knowing more than the person. We don't come in with the idea that we're going to heal someone. We're going to actually work with that beautiful brilliance within them, and that healing will happen.
It gets to emerge.
Emerge.
As it emerges, then the healing happens.
Just the authentic beauty of each of us. Yeah. I always think what kept me in orthobionomy was our ability to resolve trauma. I don't think I understood the complexity of the work the first 4 or 5 years I was in the work. And then as I developed over the next 25 years, I think what came up the most clear for me is that trauma lives in us no matter how it comes in. And without a way to biologically resolve that, and we have that ability in this work so profoundly, sometimes almost too much, that is when we start to reshape our lives, is when we're not just being affected on a day-to-day basis in our nervous system that's been affected by trauma, or our body part, or our lives and how we respond to trauma and carry trauma forward. And allowing the body to like back up, reorganize itself, and could create not only clarity and understanding through that resolving of whatever system was affected. That's when the work shifts us into a whole new level of living and quality of life, and the ability to create compassion in your life at an unparalleled way. And all body work brings in compassion, I think, just to always acknowledge that. But I think somehow one of my students said it to me really well in July, that all the trauma that she'd carried in her life had slowly filled up with compassion instead. Like all the holes as she resolved her trauma filled in with compassion, and she could not only forgive the people around her, but she could create relationships with those people. And that's what orthobionomy is.
The beauty of the principle-based work.
Yeah. Principle-based work.
Principle-based.